This is skill 2 for nursing assisting, donning and doffing a full set of PPE, or personal protective equipment. And so the first thing I'm going to do is verbalize that I am assembling all of my supplies. Many of these you are required to bring, so make sure that you check your gotta have it list for Montana and know what you're responsible for bringing for different events or things like that. And then I'm going to wash my hands or use hand sanitizer. A lot of times for these events we'll have you just use hand sanitizers because not all of the rooms have access to sinks, although we are working on using some of the clinical space at the colleges as we shift to that, so that might be a little more accessible to you. So I'm going to use my hand sanitizer, and then I'm going to open my gown by holding it in front of me and letting it just fall open. I'm not going to shake it at all. And so I'm going to face then the back of the opening and place my arms through each of the sleeves. I'm going to then fasten my neck opening on the top. So you'll have some drawstrings here that you'll go ahead and fasten. Here at the neck. And then if for some reason it hadn't unfolded, I'm going to reach in and unfold that and make sure my clothing's all completely covered. And I'm going to secure it at the waist. So I'm going to find my tie here at the bottom and secure that at the waist here. So now that my gown is on, I'm going to pick up my mask from the top strings. You'll notice I have a KN95 here. You're going to have masks with different string structures and that kind of thing, as far as whether they tie on top. I know a lot right now are going behind the ears. So we're going to go ahead and start with grabbing it on top and not contaminating it. So I'm picking it up by the strings and the elastic and not touching the inside of my mask at all. And I'm going to go the top strings first if you have top strings, and if you had to tie them, mine don't. So I'm going to go ahead and do my top strings. I'm going to try and project through this because it's a pretty nice mask that's hard to hear. And then I can go ahead and do my bottom strings and secure those on. Once that's on, you want to press the metal strip that should be in there and making sure it's secure. And snugly make sure it's fit beneath your chin and around your cheeks. And just verbalize that you're checking that all there on step 10. Next, I'm going to fit my goggles over my eyes or over my eyeglasses. And again, make sure that they're on there snugly. Next come my gloves. So if you're right or left-handed, this kind of depends. I'm right-handed, so I'm going to start with my left hand and put my left glove on first, and then use that hand to slide on my other glove onto my right hand. Interlace my fingers and just kind of smooth those out. And then the thing I want to do is just make sure that I don't have any holes in here. So I'm going to check for any tears or holes or discolored spots if these gloves were old. Just make sure you do a good check of those. And then the next thing that we want to do is adjust the gloves and pull them up over the wrist pieces of these. So you might have a little bit longer glove a lot of times for something like this, and go ahead and secure it over the elastic wrist pieces of your gown. And then once they tell you that you've donned your PPE, now if you were going to doff it, they would go ahead and let you know when the appropriate time is for that, or just go ahead and say that you're on and that you're ready to doff. So when we remove our gloves, I only want to touch this outside surface that's contaminated. And so I'm going to pinch at that and pull this glove inside out and ball it inside my other glove. And now as I reach for my other glove, I don't want to touch any of the outside of this. So I'm going to stick 2 fingers inside that glove and again turn it inside out so any of those contaminants stay within the inside of that thing. And turn that glove inside out and drop it into an appropriate container. So we might have a biohazard container that you would then stick this into, or a simulated one. After my gloves are off, we're doing kind of everything in the reverse order here. We're going to take off my goggles or my face shield if I was wearing that. The last thing that's going to come off is my mask. So next is going to come with my gown. So I'm going to unfasten both at the neck and at the waist. And what I want to do as I do this is I want to, again, just like my gloves, roll this inside out. So I'm going to kind of shimmy my sleeves out and only be touching the inside of this and rolling this as I go away from the body, and dispose of this again in an appropriate biohazard type container for that. I'm going to untie my mask. Again, mine is elastic, so it's not tied. And again, I want to remove it without touching the mask itself and place it in an appropriate container. And then lastly, again, I want to use my hand sanitizer or wash my hands at the end of that scenario. So that's skill 2 for nursing assisting, donning, and doffing PPE.